Now I'm describing Alexia's picture, starting with number 1. In this image, you see a chapel, which is King's College Chapel in Cambridge. The chapel itself is on the right, and it fills almost all of the right hand side of the image. As it seems it's quite a cloudy day, the sky behind is greyish, and the chapel itself is quite dark, also because there is a tree right in front of the chapel. Those branches seem quite dark in that image, and then in contrast to that you have grass, a strip of grass right in front, which is very vibrant green. The college building kind of continues right up to the left-hand side of the image. The image is taken in portrait format. So in front of the grass you have a pavement with a small wall. There's some people walking on that path. It seems that it has rained, because it's you can see the reflection of the people on the pavement, and there are 4 people in the image, 2 guys and 2 girls. The guys walking towards you. If you look at the image, the girls walking in the other direction. There is a bike standing right between the 2 girls, and on the little wall in front of the chapel you can see a coffee cup as well left behind. That's image number 1. I'm now going to describe Alexia's 3rd image, which I believe was taken in front of Great St. Mary's Church, which is a big church in the centre of Cambridge. You can't see the tower of the church itself. You can only see the lower part of it. This photograph was taken in landscape format as well, and I'll start to describe it from the left. You can see 2 houses there on the corner. A sign says St. Mary's Street on it. One of them is made of brick, and it seems to be a shop. There's a pavement going past the church, which fills most of the image next to that brick building. The church itself is kind of, the colour of it is a sand tone, I'd say. There are people walking past it with umbrellas. You can tell that it has rained, because the pavement is wet and you can see the reflections in it. Next to the people walking past, you can see what do you call it? A little
ice cream stand.
Ice cream stand, thank you. An ice cream stand, which says Tony's Ices on it. Behind that you can see a few posters on the railings next to the church, and a few bikes that have been parked there. And the church itself has big windows. The glass seems almost greyish. You can see some of the parts of the entrance, which is which It's got a lot of detail and a clock right above the entrance. Yeah, that's image number 3 of Alexia.
It's an image, the scene is of a building with a highly reflective windows. There's a crane and another building, lots of build works. There are golden statues in the bottom left of the image, and a few people dotted around. It's very blue tone on the windows, along with the doors just to the right, and the floor is sort of a zigzag sort of pattern, red brick and brown brick. This is number 2 by Alexia. The image is quite blurry, but you can still make out sort of people, one woman with a yellow scarf around the centre of the image. It's of buildings and along a street. The buildings are quite old looking, despite it being quite blurry. You can see to the left of the image a cafe with different lights dotted around the sign, and you can just about make out the sign, and it says Bennett's. There are cars as well on the road in the image just to the right, and a few sort of different bits of colour and light flowing through. And just to the left of the image you can see bright blue seats. And this is the 3rd image by Alexia. It's of people dotted around with umbrellas just in front of a large chapel. There is an ice cream van as well to the right of the image called Tony's Ices. It's obviously been raining quite heavily, and there are a few more buildings just to the left of the image as well. The building is quite a beige sort of dull colour, which has, I think, a few bricks that are rotting on it, but you can see the windows are quite bright still.
Okay, this is Philip's picture number 1. It is a picture of a side of a building. It's got a bit of pavement with a black and red pattern in front of the building, and a little concrete wall in front of the building, which is probably is less than a meter high. Some parts of the wall are concrete blocks, but most of the picture is of a glass wall, and you can see square panels of glass, and that's very interesting that it's glass, because you can see a reflection of what it must be on the opposite side of the building, reflected in the glass. And what you see reflected in the glass is another building that is that looks like it's being constructed. There is a crane there in front of the building, basically the building isn't finished yet, so you can see the structure of it with holes in, and another building in the background, which is a pattern of windows basically, and down below there's an old building reflected, so you get a reflection of 3 buildings that are sort of sitting in front of each other. And one is an old building, sort of 19th century, I think. Then there is a building being constructed with a crane in front of it, and then behind that you can see the reflection of a high-rise building, and you can see a grid of windows. And all of this is reflected in the grid of the glass windows of the building that we're actually looking at. There's a statue as well tiny statue in the left-hand corner, a gold statue that is reflected as well in the glass, and some traffic signs. You can see the entrance of the building and a big sign which must be, you know, the name of the building. I don't know, you can't read it properly. And there is a sign in front of the door, which is the entrance to the building, sort of blocking the way. You can't exactly see what it says. The ice, I think it says, but it doesn't make much sense. It doesn't make much sense. But yeah, the overall impression of this picture is that it's a reflection in a grid of other buildings, windows and constructions, and the crane, of course, is, you know, tubular thing as well, which, you know, feeds into the grids that you can see in this picture. And this is picture 3 of Philip. The observer is standing on a bridge, so we are standing on a bridge and we're looking down a canal. The bridge has got, you can see the edge of the bridge, and it's got a barrier which is, the top bit is made of an iron tube, and underneath there are iron strings, iron wires to stop people falling off the bridge. So the canal goes, you know, away from us towards the middle of the picture. On the left-hand side there is a building. It's an old-fashioned red brick building, which has got a wharf. It's got a burger shop, no, burger restaurant probably, in the bottom story of the building, and then the second story, we can see two big windows and some. Well, it must be a walkway. There are some barriers there which aren't balconies. The window does have a balcony. One of the windows has a balcony. It has some a fence of some kind, an iron fence in between brick pillars to stop people falling down onto the wharf. At the bottom of the canal, we see another bridge. We can see another bridge, which is more a traditional bridge made out of brick or concrete, I think. And beyond that, there is a glass building which appears to be round. It's not exactly dome-shaped. It's a sort of a flattened dome. And to the right of the canal, there again we can see the wharf with a fence, partly with a fence, in front of the water, and a big wall with another, sort of 19th century building behind it. There's a tree that we can see branches of in front of this building, and bits of steps going up somewhere that we can't see on the right. It looks like there are parking places on the right as well on the pavement, because there are, although there are little holes in front of it, so I don't know how people would actually get to park there, which is a bit strange. Don't know what that would be for. And the one thing that we can see, a few people on the wharves on both sides. walking, not a lot of people. And on the left-hand side we can just see a barge going under the bridge that we are standing on. The barge is red, partly red and black, and I guess it travels. It either comes, either comes from under the bridge, or it goes under the bridge. You can't see the direction the barge is traveling, of course. And crossing the picture from the left-hand corner to the right top corner is part of the bridge that we're standing on, a big tube that sort of diagonally crosses the whole picture, which is part of the construction of the bridge that we're standing on.
I am looking at Alexia's picture number 1 of King's College Chapel and King's College from King's Parade. In the background there is King's College Chapel and King's College with the large tree in front of it and the grass behind the wall, and in the foreground in the left hand corner there are tourists walking about in the rain by the bollards with the chains. And now I'm moving on to Alexia's picture number 2. I am looking on the other side of King's Parade at the shop fronts. The photo is very blurry and you can just about make out the writing on Bennett's Cafe, and that is the only legible writing there. There are very few people walking about because of the bad weather. It was raining and the road is empty apart from some cars parked down there. I am moving on to Philip's picture number 2. It is taken inside the ICC in Birmingham, looking up. There are balconies on the left hand side, and in the middle of the photo there are bridges going across. They're very angular. The framing of the photo is very angular and jaunt, looking upwards, and there are several bridges or structures going across.
So that's image number 2. On this image I can see it's quite a nice image. There's quite a lot of blue and white. It's an image taken inside of the building, and the construction side of the building is quite interesting. It has a lot of I don't know the word for it. A lot of metal girders.
I think that's the word for them.
Yeah, I don't know the word.
The metal supports.
Yeah.
They're girders.
Okay. And it's quite abstract image, I think, because apart from that the image is inside the building, I would say it's more like an architecture photography. But you can see the sky as well through the glass, and it was also quite sunny day. And the lights reflect inside the building.